Okay, and so now I think we're good to go. Okay, so I'm going to start by extruding these out right here, and I'm just going to do it by holding down the Shift key, right, to do this extrusion. Now,
wouldn't you start with these right down here?
It's
because
actually
it curls around like that?
It's actually coming out of this part right here up at the top. So if you come back and look at this reference over here on the side, so there's that little ridge right here. Oops, if I can see, there's this little ridge, and it actually curls out of the top of that cylinder.
But that ridge starts up here. It just widens and then shrinks. See, and it starts right here and then shrinks and then goes out.
This is the right place. Trust me for a second, and then I think it'll make a little bit more sense as I get into it. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to delete this. I'll hold down Control and do a delete edge and vertice, and it ended up creating a 5-sided face. And we'll just have to deal with that for the moment, but that'll actually make it easier for us to set up our edge flow. Okay. Let's see. So.
Okay, now I'm seeing what you were saying before.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're extruding it out that far.
Well, right now it's just I'm getting things set up here. Okay, I think this actually needs to come. Okay, give me a second. I'm thinking. Maybe we only needed to extrude out this top face. And then this vertice will come down to here. I'll hold down V and it'll snap. And then this vertice will end up somewhere right here.
Sided face.
It's actually 4.
You're right.
Yeah, so I'm going to bring this one in. It did look like a 3, so yeah, I don't fault you there for that observation. Okay, so now I'll extrude this out. Hold down V so it snaps here.
Something's missing.
It was a vertice face. I selected the wrong thing. So bring this down here like this. It's down here, out like this. Okay. Now if you notice, if I hit 3, these edges right from here down to here are not merged together. This is important. This is how we're going to set up a scroll work.
Wait, what? Wait,
so
which edges aren't merged?
If you look right here, these edges aren't merged. Oh. There are 2 edges right here that aren't merged, and there's 2 edges right here that are not merged.
Oh, I thought they were.
No.
They just snapped. Okay.
Yeah, I just snapped them, and there's actually some method to my madness, because we can, it's kind of like if you cut a spiral cut in a paper, and then you grab the center and you lift it up, and it kind of hangs like a spring or like a slinky. Okay. That's what we're going to do. So now I'll hold down Shift, bring it out, grab the vertice, snap it into place, you know, and I might need to kind of progressively go in there and just tweak vertices around as needed. So Shift to get the extrude, hold down V so it snaps, bring this up in here, grab this edge, and extrude it. V. Now I'm actually going to depart from my reference just a little bit, because I think we're actually looking up at it, and so this is overlapping. It's not actually that particular measurement, so I'm going to try and compensate for that.
Gotcha.
Oops. Keep trying to grab my Adobe shortcuts. hate that vertice face.
I have had trouble trying to figure out what its purpose is.
So I never use it, and so I didn't know. And a student looked it up, and it's actually for when you're doing rigging. It has an application for something that's known as weighting, where you tell the bones how much influence to have over top of the geometry that they're deforming.
Now I actually have the top of the I actually distorted it so that the top of the scroll on the side matches the top of the front.
Okay.
So you might want to.
I still think it looks actually pretty believable right here. So I'm going to stick to what reference you have.
No, I mean the reference right here.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I think proportionately it's close enough that I don't think you need to worry about it.
Okay. What I'm saying though is that the top you have there is going to.
Is it too squished?
No, I mean it's too high. It's too stretched because it's going to stretch beyond the front orthos. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh.
Because I set it up so that see what I mean?
So let's take this. And raise it up a little bit. That went too far. You know, it's getting things to match perfectly is almost an impossibility. We'll just get started right here, and then if it's too off, you can go in, you can compensate the model, you can compensate your edge flow, whatever you need to do. Okay, so now I'm just going to start to rotate this. Probably come in here. And this might be as far as I actually do with the extrusions for what I'm trying to demonstrate for you. All right, so if I hit smooth preview, basically goes into that right there. Now, here's what's cool about this. I can come in here and I can select these faces right here. All right, so this is actually the original cylinder top that we started with. All right. Now, what we can do is press B to turn on your soft select. Okay. If I hold down B and I click and hold and scrub back and forth, it increases that area of influence. All right. Now, the way that it's currently working is it's just whatever's closest to that selection is what's it's going to have that fall off. But if I double click on this and bring up my tool settings, and I just double clicked on this icon right here, or this, it's a regular selection tool. I'm actually going to just dock your tool settings right here with this stuff. You can come into soft select, and there's a couple of different soft selection types. I think it's no, what is it? Global, or is it surface? Okay. So surface, the area of influence will end up following your geometry. All right, so when I hold down B, I continue to scrub that up. You see how it walks around the spiral?
Uh-huh.
And so we'll walk it around about up to that point. And now what we can do from the side is use the translate and pull it out like this.
Okay.
Does that make sense? You might need to go back in and kind of push and pull some things around just a little bit. But now what we can do is you can use the append to poly tool to actually start plugging in some of these holes. Now the append to poly tools is a really cool little tool. It'd be a little hard to see what I'm doing right here. If it's
Now wait, append to poly tool. What is that?
Yeah, it is. It basically lets you connect faces together. So I can select this face or this edge, and then select that edge and press return, and it'll add a face in right there. Press Y to grab the tool again. I can click this one and then click that one right there, and
Wait,
it'll
how
draw in a
did you do that?
face.
Where did you what?
So
Sorry, I missed something.
mesh tools, append to poly. So we'll click on one edge, and then we'll click on another edge, press return, and it'll draw in a face in between those.
That would have helped so much with an earlier assignment.
And so now with this one right here, I'm just going to select one of the edges. We'll turn this off, select off, and I'll do a fill hole on that one. Right now it's going to look a little mushy until you start to insert some additional edge loops, but we'll just keep using that append to poly tool from here to here. Press Y, select that one, press Y. Now when I press Y, it's going to commit what I'm doing, and then reselect the tool to be used again. Press Y.
So do I reselect the tool by pressing G or
By pressing Y.
right
again.
there?
Yeah. And then you can just connect those gaps. And then you'll end up with the scroll work. All right?
Okay.
And then, like I said, you'll probably need to go into some of these edges, like right in here, because I notice it is kind of bowing outwards like this.
Yeah.
You know, and then this, it kind of
bows inward.
Yeah, so you just compensate for that. But there, that's how I do that scroll work. And then once the scroll work's done, you know, and if you've extruded down the side and gotten the right shape, then you can just extrude that and then mirror it.
I think so.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and hit